hello, welcome back, Math 1 students. This is the first semester final review, and we're on problem 6 out of 25. Okay, problem 6, so we're going to follow PEMDAS, so we work inside out. Okay, we're going to work with the parenthesis first. 2 plus 4, oops, I don't like this. Give me 1 second. I like this writing tool. All right, inside a parenthesis first. So 2 plus 4 is 6, right? So we still have the power square. Then we're going to bring down the rest, okay? Make sure you're going to pay extra attention on the calculation. Do not skip step. You're going to do something wrong and you cannot find out what was wrong, okay? Slow down, write down everything that you didn't work on yet. All right, now we're going to look at the power. 6 squared is 36. All right, keep in mind the negative is outside, so it won't be affected by the square. You will bring down the negative sign. Okay, and then don't forget to bring down 13. Then continue work inside of the parenthesis. In this case, is the bracket 42 minus 36. 42 minus 36. 2 cannot take away 6. You have to borrow from 4. That would make it 3. That would be 12. 12 minus 6 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0. So the answer is 6. Since 42 is the bigger number, and 42 is positive, because there's no sign mean it's positive, then we bring down the bracket and bring down the 13. 13 times 6, 6 times 13, sorry, 6 times 13. 6 times 3 is 18. Remember 1. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 1 is 7. The answer is 78. Okay, that's it. All right. I forgot to remind you, you can write this on a piece of paper. Be nice and neat, so when you do your final, you can look through on your note quickly to help you with your final. Okay. You can write this on a piece of paper that help you guide you through. And when you study math, try to do not save paper. Be nice and neat. If you don't have enough space, go to the next page. Okay. Do not save paper when you learn math. But do not waste your paper. Okay. Be neat. What I try to say is be nice and neat. And make sure you see how many space do you have for a certain problem to make sure you have enough space. Do not squeeze things in because you're going to confuse yourself later on. All right, number 7. Evaluate the expression when A is 4 and C is 8. Okay, so C squared minus 5A divided by 8. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to replace A by 4. I keep doing this. Replace A by 4. So 5A will be 5 times 4, and divided by A, that's going to be 4. Your C is 8. As C will be replaced with the 8. Okay, then you will have 8 squared minus 5. Your A going to be replaced with 4 over 4, like that. Okay, take a second, make sure you understand what's going on. And the rest we're going to do is simplifying the problem. 8 squared is 64. 5 times 4 is 20, and carrying over the negative sign, divided by 4. 64 minus 20 is 44. Divided by 4 will give you 11. And that's it. All right, problem 8. All right. Okay, so this is one of the problem that I guess when we end this chapter, some of you confused about this topic. There's 2 ways to do this. The first way, we can apply the power rule. What do I mean by the power rule? This is negative 2 to the first power, y to the first power, x to the third, and z to the third. then we distribute your 3 in. Okay, so then you have negative 2 to the third power, x to the 9, because 3 times 3 is 9, y to the third power, and z, 3 times 3, z to the 9. All right, then we bring down the first parenthesis. Negative x to the 4 power, y to the third, and z to the second. They multiply. Okay, so since we about to write them all as multiplications, I'm going to drop the parenthesis. That would be negative x to the 4 times y to the third times z to the square. So basically, all the variables next to each other mean they multiply. Negative 2 to the third power. Negative it inside mean that negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, 3 times. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, times the remaining negative 2, that will be negative 8. So I'm going to go down here, times negative 8, times x to the 9, times y to the third, and times z to the 9. Okay, negative x to the 4, y to the third, z to the second, times negative 8, x to the 9, y to the third, and z to the 9. Okay, so first we're going to multiply the number with the number. So you may ask, what the number are you talking about? So when you see any variable without number, mean there's a 1 in there, is invisible 1. Okay, so then we will multiply this negative 1 with the negative 8, right? Number multiply with number. Negative 1 times negative 8 is positive 8. Okay, we're going to deal with the variable right now. To make sure you still remember and have time to think about this, I'm going to reorder this one. I'm going to put all the variable together, x to the 4 times x to the 9. I put my x's together, and then I'm going to look at the y to the third times y to the third on the second one. Okay, then I look at my z to the second times z to the 9. Okay, one more time, instead of write xyz, I group the x together, the y together, and the z together. Okay, so this one will be 8. X to the 4 mean x times x times x times x 4 times. X to the 9 is x times x times x 9 times. So together, 4 plus 9, you have 13x. What we did is add the power. When we multiply the exponent, you add the power. Y to the third power times y to the third power. Y to the third power would mean y times y times y 3 times, and another y to the third power. So another 3y. The total is 6. 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay, last one. Z. Z to the second times z to the 9. The total is z to 11. And that's it. That's the answer. Your final answer will look like this. 8, x to the 13, y to the 6, z to the 11. This is the final answer. Okay. Again, this is a hard problem, so take time to think about this. Redo it a few times to make sure you understand it. Do your practice tests. If you keep getting this wrong, click on the try this again or read the example again on the practice test. I mean on Alex. Practice test on Alex. All right, number 9. Number 9 is also one of you guys fear because it's involved a fraction with negative exponent. I don't know how many people still remember how to deal with negative exponent. Okay, negative exponent mean that you flip. Negative exponent mean that it's not happy with itself. Negative we flip. Okay, so there's two kind of negative. This one, the -3 right here, is the negative of the whole group. Okay, and the -1 inside of the m, which I'm looking at this negative right now, that negative just only apply for m. Make sure you see the difference. The negative of the whole group and the negative of the m. The negative of the whole group will tell you to flip the whole group. So if I flip this one, that will give me 3n to the -6, m to the -3, and then the top will go to the bottom, m to the -1, n to the 6. But since you flip it, the negative on the exponent is gone. Instead of -3 outside, it's going to be +3. Okay, that's going to help us get rid of the negative sign outside of the parenthesis. Okay, now we're going to apply the power rule like we did last time. You need to put the power for the number 3 to the first power, 2 to the first power. Please write down a note for yourself to put the power for the number, otherwise you will forget on the test. Because the 3 right here will apply for that power, not for the 3 for the power. And this 3 will apply for the 6, the power, and the -3, the power, and down here as well. So that 3 is distributed to every single power inside. So what do you see from that? So 3 times 1, 3 to the third power, and -6 times 3 is -18. M, -3 times 3 is m to the -9. This is the power rule. Power outside power, you multiply. Okay, now denominator, it's 2 to the third power. M to the -1 times 3 is -3. N to the 6 times 3 is n to the 18. All right. Okay, so our next step, I will work out the number. Like 3 to the third power is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. You know what? I should write it down just in case some of you need to see it. 3 to the third power is 3 times 3 times 3. That would be 9 times 3 is 27. Okay, there will be 27 over. Same thing for the bottom. 2 to the third power is 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Not 6. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Alright, then I bring over all the numbers. N to the -18, m to the -9, and m to the -3, and n to the 18. Now we're going to look at the negative one, the -18, -9, and -3. Okay, negative mean that you flip, mean that the variable is not happy with where they at. So you're going to move them. N to the -18 is not happy to be on top. You're going to bring that to the bottom. So also m to the -9, you're going to bring it to the bottom because it's negative. The m to the -3 is not happy with where they at. It's going to go on top. All right, so what do we see from that? We're going to see 27 stay. N to the -18 will go down. Okay, so I'll keep 8. N to the 18. Okay, m to the -9 will go down because it's negative on top. You're going to bring it down to m to the +9. Okay, and m to the -3 at the bottom is not happy. We bring him up. M to the +3, like that. Then don't forget the remaining is n to the 18. All right, so now we have 27 over 8 n to the 18 times n to the 18. Right? When you multiply, we add the power. We just learned that earlier. is m to the 36. When you multiply, you add the power. 18 plus 18 is 36. And what happened when you divide, like the m to the third power and m to the 9? Multiply, you add. Divide, you subtract. You subtract. So that is m of 3 minus 9. 3 minus 9 is negative 6. Right? Because 3 minus 9, 3 take away a bigger number, which is negative. Then because it's negative exponent, you can bring it down. So your final answer is 27 over 8 n to the 36 m to the 6. All right, that's it for number 9. Okay. Make sure you understand this. Pause the video, rewatch this a couple times to make sure you got everything down. All right, number 10. Okay, so number 10, negative 1/5 x minus 5 over 3 minus 1 over 2. Okay, so you have a big fraction, 3 fraction with different denominator. So you're going to find the LCD. Okay, we talked about this earlier. LCD, you're going to find the common multiple of each denominator. For example, the multiple of 5, you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, I need to make 30 is darker. 30. The multiple of 3, you have 3, 6, 9, 12, 18. What else? 20, 21, 27, and 30. Okay, so we have 30 in common so far. Then you have to do the same with the 2. 2, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, and then 30. So they all has the common number is 30. That is your least common denominator. Okay. Get pause the video if you don't understand this. Otherwise, I'm going to erase this and write down LCD is 30. LCD is 30. Okay. This is an equation because of equal sign. On the equation, you allow to multiply the whole thing by your LCD. LCD is 30. You can multiply the whole thing by 30, means that each term can be multiplied by 30. Okay, when you're doing this, you're allowed to simplify. 5 go to 30 is 6 times. 6 times 1x is 6x. And we bring down the negative sign. Then 3 going to 30 is 10 times. 10 times 5 is 50. See, there's negative, you bring it down. Equal 30 go into 2 go into 30 is 15. 15 times 1 is 15. And there's a negative sign, bring it down. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do is solve for x. You're going to add 50 on both sides. Okay. Positive 50 minus 50 cancel each other out. Give you negative 6x equal to 50 minus 45 is 35. Right? 35, 40, 50. Yes. Then we divide both sides by 6, negative 6. So x equal to 35 divide negative 6. It's not going to be a good number. It's going to be 5.83333. We cannot reduce this either, so it's going to be negative 35 over 6. In the mixed number, it's going to be 5 and 5 over 6. 35 divided by 6. 6 going to 35 is 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. Draw the line, change the sign, remainder is 5. So that's why it's 5 whole and 5 remain over 6. Sorry. And don't forget the negative sign. All right, that's it for problems 6 through 10. Okay, we're going to continue on the next video.